So there are a lot of mobile gimbals for your smartphone, but none of them can do this. Yeah, that's a removable remote with a screen, and that's just scratching the surface on this because there is a lot more that this thing can do. And that includes endless spinning, AI tracking, gesture controls, a built-in RGB light, selfie stick, and much more. And I can easily say that this is the best smartphone gimbal out there. And let me tell you all about it.
Mr. Black.
And by the way, welcome to the channel where I love to share with you cool gear that comes my way. If you're new here, you like gadgets and gear, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, click that like button and YouTube will keep giving you some cool gear videos. I'll put the links to everything down in the description so you can find it down there nice and easily. Also, Hohem did send this to me and they're sponsoring this video so that I can test out the features and show you what this thing can do. And I have looked at a lot of gimbals on this channel and there are some standout features on this thing. And just real quickly, if we look in the box, you get the case to put it all in. It's actually really nice quality as well. It's perfect for traveling. And in that case, you get the gimbal itself with a little tripod that screws on at the bottom, the perfect size and weight, and you get a charging cable for the gimbal and a mini charging cable to connect directly to your phone so that you can keep it charged up that way. You simply put your phone in and you can power the gimbal on and it just starts up right away and your phone is stable and ready to go. It also does give you a little bit of adjustment if you have a bigger phone or heavier phone and you need to help balance that out a little bit more. It has a really nice grip to it, so when you're holding it, you can easily grip it, it doesn't slip, and just feels really comfortable in your hands. Up above that, on the control section, you have the remote, which we'll come back to, but on this side, you have the USB-C charging port, and you have the power button to hold down to power it on. You can also double tap it to put it in standby mode. There's a quarter thread mount on here, perfect for extra accessories like lights, mics, or handle extenders. On the back, you have the trigger, which when you hold it down, it can lock into place. Depending on what mode you're in, that can be very handy. Or you can hold it down and it can go into sport mode. And if there's something going by really quickly, it'll actually go a little bit faster. If you double tap, it brings it to front and center. And if you triple tap, it goes into selfie mode. And if you quadruple tap it, 1, 2, 3, 4, it goes into wide angle mode. So if you're using your wide angle lenses, the motor won't be in the way. On this side, you have the multifunctional wheel, which is really easy and comfortable to use. You can use it for manual focus, so if you're getting some close-up shots, you can adjust that with ease. You can also change it to adjust the tilt, roll, and pan by pressing this button right here. And then you can hold this thing down to turn on the top light. And then you can adjust the color temperature, and you can also adjust the brightness of it as well. And then if you triple tap, then it goes into RGB mode, and you can use that to change to any of the colors on the spectrum. So you can shuffle through it like that, and then you can also tap it to adjust the brightness of that color. You also have A/B buttons that you could set for different angles. So if I had the camera over there a bunch, I can hold down one of these buttons, it'll save it. And then if I'm over here, I could just quickly press that and it goes right back to where that was. So if you have certain kind of shots that you need to get, you can set those angles, making that a lot easier to switch between. This is also great for doing like a quick time lapse start and end point. On the front screen and control panel, which is detachable, you have a touch screen, you have a joystick for controlling the gimbal, and you have a zoom lever on here to zoom in and out, and a multifunctional shutter button, which you can use to start and stop recording, take pictures, but you could also half press it to focus in. You can also press twice for photo and video switch, and press it 3 times for front and rear camera switch. Above that, you have the mode switching button where you can press to change between PF, PTF, POV, or a custom one where you can go in and you can set it for any one of them or all 3 of them or just any different combinations. If you triple tap that, you go into inception mode and it will just keep spinning and spinning and spinning and will never run out. It's actually pretty cool until you hit the M button again, and then that brings it back to where you were before. And since this is a remote, you can pop this thing off. There is a USB-C port there to charge the remote separately, and there is a button on the side that actually acts as the trigger button, so you can do all the things that you would with the trigger just by like tapping that. So that's 3 times or 4 times. On the screen, you can see the battery of the remote and the gimbal. You also have the roller control where you can change the settings there. This is the wheel on the side. You could set any of the functions right here. You can also set it for reverse. You can turn on and off the lights, change the colors or the temperature and the brightness level here. You can also set the motor balance, and you can change to different modes. And then you have the scenario section, which you can do auto rotations. You can adjust the speed of that and which direction. You can also change that motor location as well if you're shooting with the wide angle lens. And then you have the panorama for getting high quality shots, whether it's a 3x3 grid, 180 degrees or 360 degrees, or you can get a 720 degree shot that works like a 360 VR image. You also have time lapse where you can set up to 6 different points by moving the gimbal and pressing the plus button to mark those coordinates. And then also you could change the time of that time lapse from 1 minute to 3 hours. If you swipe over on the main screen, you can adjust the joystick speed and you can get it set up exactly the way you like it. You can also set those A/B points, and you can set the speed of the gimbal and even more settings. If you swipe right, you actually get a preview of the sensor. So it's not the actual camera view that you get. You're actually just getting what the sensor gets, which does show you what's front and center so you can see what the camera is going to be looking at and how close. So it's not exactly the camera, but it's pretty accurate and just helps you know what the framing is. You can also use it to highlight a person or an object on the screen, and that way it will track using AI. So if I highlight myself right there and double tap it, you'll see it come to life, and it's going to be tracking me just like that. But I love that feature, so you can easily be filming yourself. You can look down to see the shot, and you can be walking literally around in circles endlessly, and it will keep tracking you around. But not even just that, you can actually, highlight an object or another person if you wanted to keep them in the shot while you're moving without having to use the joystick to try to get the shot perfect. This will track them, or just even an object, which would be amazing for city hyperlapses. If you wanted to highlight a certain spot and walk slowly through the city, it will keep that spot right in the center. So you can get some really creative shots in some really cool locations. Now going up from that, you have the selfie extension pull here, so you can lift that thing up if you are in a crowded area and you wanted to hold it up high. You can do that. You can see the screen down here so you can get the shot framed perfectly, or you can use it to get low to the ground shots without having to hunch over, so you can get some really creative shots that way. Above that, you have the 3 little motors there, and they all have locking mechanisms so you can lock them into place. Perfect if you're traveling, you don't want them flinging around. On the camera holder, they make it really easy if you want to shoot between landscape and portrait. All you do is just turn it when you get your phone in. So if you wanted to shoot in portrait mode, that's a really easy way to do that. On the arm here, you have a quarter thread if you wanted to put another accessory onto that. And at the bottom, you have the port to plug directly into your phone if you want to charge it that way. The light and tracking sensor over here is removable, so you can pop that thing off and you can see how it's magnetically held in place, and you can flip this thing around. If you're using your front camera, you can set it how you want it there. But also there is a switch on here so you can turn the AI tracking off. And with that sensor, you can do gesture controls, so you can do an OK sign to start tracking you and the stop sign to stop tracking you, but also you can do a peace sign to start and stop recording. You can also, in the settings, change it so that you can start recording with that and it won't stop if you do it accidentally. Maybe you're saying 1 or 2 things, you don't want it to stop recording. So that is great that they added that setting in to not stop recording with the gesture. Just right there, the hardware, that is a lot. And you can even go into it further with the Hohem Joy app. There is a lot that you can do there, but I want to actually just focus in on the modes. So this is where you have the panoramic shot, photo, video, time lapse, time warp, which is hyperlapses. You also have slow motion, and then you have moment. And moment is where you have these different effects on here, like raindrop control. Check this out. So we're gonna hit record. 5, 4. So it's gonna do this, and I'm gonna just hold my hand up. So watch the raindrops here. Look at that. So it stops it. It does that cool effect. It's a bit silly, but you can have a lot of fun with something like that. But there's even more cool ones. Night Rain, Back to the Past, Inception, a fantastic rotation, panoramic video. You also have dolly zoom and smart dolly zoom. You have dynamic shots, lucky shots. You also have travel themes and different styles, just quickly making some cool videos with your gimbal. So that's the Hohem iSteady M7 in a nutshell. There's so much going on with this thing. It's amazing. But do check out the link in the description for the most current and up-to-date price. And thanks so much for watching another cool gadget and gear video. I love sharing this stuff with you guys, and I have a ton still to get to, so stay stay tuned for more really cool gear and gadgets. Also, if you want to see some other cool Hohem videos, I have some on the screen, especially this one here. If you want a mobile gimbal that does a lot of the same stuff, but like a lot smaller, check out this video over here. And if you want to see some other cool gear, check out these ones down here. Either way, click one of those and I'll see you there.